This morning, Akwa Ibom youths tasked to emulate Uforekong academic record-breaking feat in Japan. Markets and business premises to remain shut from 7 o'clock this morning till 10 for state environmental sanitation. 2016 budget estimate hearing rounded up. Details in just a moment. A very good morning to you and thanks for joining us. My name is Augusta Essien. Governor Udom Emmanuel has described the 30-year academic record-breaking success of an Akwa Ibom-born Uforekong in Japanese university as a testimony that any Akwa Ibom youth dedicated to his chosen field of endeavor can rise to success. Mr. Udom Emmanuel stated this when Uforekong, accompanied by his mother and siblings, paid a visit to him in Government House, Uyo. Colonel Idemifreti reports that the Ikorante 18-and-born robotics and electrical engineer, high-tech genius, received a standing ovation from Governor and members of the State Executive Council as he told his success story.
Uforekong, as the golden boy of Akwa Ibom State, Governor Emmanuel said he is a model for youths of the state to emulate. He congratulated Mr. Ekong on the feat which he acknowledged was due to his determination, adding that such will be the position of any Akwa Ibom youth who is desirous to attain any height. The state, he said, is proud of Mr. Ekong and had resolved to sponsor him through his master's and doctorate degrees. The governor, who promised to attend the Aqua Cross Business Conference in Japan next month, as requested by Mr. Ekong, urged him to set up a legacy for himself by bringing one of the companies he is researching for in Japan to establish in the state. According to Governor Emmanuel, the road leading to where the company situates will be named after him. Mr. Udom Emmanuel advised the 25-year-old high-tech genius to do everything possible to remain at the top and assured him of a business class flight back to Akwa Ibom to be part of the envisaged State Youth Week.
We in Akwa Ibom State are proud of you. You are one of the face of what we call Fête of Greatness. We are going to launch out to be on Akwa Ibom Day what we call the Fête of Greatness of Akwa Ibom as where an average Akwa Ibom person, having believed in something, you must rise to that state of greatness. We are coming to a point that we believe that we are Akwa Ibomites and we must rise to that state of greatness. We are coming to that point where we rise to believe that with God all things are possible. We are coming to that point where we believe with the fact that we will create for greatness. And you are a testimony that our private is great. And you saw it so.
Today, 9, the age of 19. In his a day as he had to walk to enable him Mr. to the Akwa Ibom spirit Udom Emmanuel for the scholarship granted for studies.
Fan of the government of Akwa Ibom State for one reason, because it's good for industrialization. I am in Japan and I know that Japan does not have one natural resource. And until we start to understand the importance of industrialization, we cannot make Akwa Ibom the best, because only the best is good enough for Akwa Ibom.
Mr. Prince expressed gratitude for his son's success, while specializing the governor on youth matters, Mr. Iwat Udofi, for Akwa Ibom youth who believes and works hard for it.
But I feel that my son is doing well in Japan, and he's been able to achieve this academic feat because of he's dedicated to his own studies. I thank God for that grace.
We are happy to identify with him. He has shown that with hard work and belief in God, you can achieve anything that you want to achieve.
Mr. Fodekong was on Wednesday this week officially received by President Buhari in Abuja. Colonel Adam Efreti reporting.
Markets and other business premises across the state are to remain shut from 7 to 10 o'clock this morning. This follows the environmental sanitation declared by the state government as part of its efforts to keep Akwa Ibom clean. The Commissioner for Information and Communications, Mr. Nneka Anumana, who spoke with our correspondents in Rio, said Governor Dom Emmanuel will flag out the exercise at Ibom Plaza by 7 o'clock in the morning. He said during the hours there will be restrictions of movements of vehicles. Mr. Umana called on the people and residents of the state to take active part in the exercise by keeping the environment and neighborhood clean for healthy living. The executive chairman of the Akwa Ibom Investment Corporation, AKICORP, Dr. Elijah Akpan, has commended the management of Akwa Ibom Company Limited for its efforts at ensuring uninterrupted electricity supply in the state. Dr. Akpan made the commendation when he visited the Ibom Power Plant in Korabasi. Dr. Elijah Akpan, who was conducted around the plant facilities by the managing director of the Ibom Power Plant, Dr. Victor Odo, expressed happiness with what he saw on ground, noting that the power company has stood out as a productive and profitable company. He noted that provision of 18 hours of uninterrupted power supply by the plant was one of the strategies of the realization of the vision of the state government to industrialize the state and provide needed infrastructure. With investors indicating interest to do business in the state, there was need for steady power supply, he said, to boost the state's economy. While urging the company to continue to improve on its productivity, he commended the managing director of the Akwa Ibom Power Plant, Dr. Victor, for its efforts and pledged the support of Africa.
To even mention that Akwa Ibom State is enjoying all these privileges of constant electricity with just few of you, it's something to be proud. AKICORP, the Akwa Ibom Investment Corporation, is very proud of what you are doing in this country.
The managing director of Ibom Power Plant, Dr. Victor Odo, thanked the chairman of AKICORP, Dr. Elijah Akpan, for the visit. He said since assuming duty in 2014, he has been able to fix some broken down equipment, while some facilities are still under construction, which will soon be completed to achieve constant energy supply in the state. Dr. Odo promised that the company will not fail under his watch and that the vision of the state government for the power is achieved. The managing director noted that the Ibom Power Company has become one of the major players in the Nigeria electricity subsector, adding that the company is repositioned and is an economic asset to the state.
Power is 100% owned by the state government, and the investment of the state is done by AKICORP. So they are the real shareholders of Ibom Power. And recently, me and the company secretary went to pay homage at his invitation to the new chairman, which we believe we are going to work together with AKICORP to make sure His Excellency Dom Emmanuel's vision for power supply in Akwa Ibom is accomplished.
The State House of Assembly Committee on Special Projects Monitoring has undertaken a facility tour of the Ibom Power Company. Led by its chairman, Mr. Otogon Akpan of Okanofon State Constituency, the committee was received and conducted round the establishment by the managing director, Dr. Victor Odo. The committee chairman said the visit was to familiarize themselves with the operations of the power plant with the view of acquainting themselves with the company's challenges and reporting back to the House. The managing director of Ibom Power Company, Dr. Victor Odo, said all hands are on deck to ensure that the plant, which is currently being managed by the Akwa Ibom indigenes, fulfills its mandate by supplying uninterrupted power. Mr. Udall said the management of the Ibom Power Plant is making efforts to rectify the GT Unit 1, which has been out of service. During the interactive session, some of the legislators suggested ways to enhance the operations of the power sector. Meanwhile, the member representing Ona State constituency, Otrekong Sesien, has commended Governor Udom Emmanuel for taking over the construction of Equadio Road, which was abandoned by the NDDC. The Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Mr. Niekan Udo, directed the House Committee on NDDC to liaise with all legislators to compile a list of abandoned projects in their constituencies for the House to take necessary actions. He also announced that the Assembly is proceeding on a 1-month recess to resume plenary on September 29th. You're watching AKBC 45 News this morning. If you're just joining us, we said Governor Udom Emmanuel has tasked Akwa Ibom youth to be dedicated to their chosen field of endeavor to rise to greatness. He was speaking when a robotic and electrical engineer, Akwa Ibom-born Uforekong, visited him in Government House. We also said that between the hours of 7 and 10 this morning, people and residents of the state have been directed to take part in the statewide environmental sanitation exercise declared by the state government. We have more news for you after this time out. Do stay on with us. Welcome back. Also this morning, the 2016 budget estimate hearing for ministries and departments and agencies, MDAs of government, has ended in Uyo. On the last day of the hearing, the Office of the Accountant General presented its estimates for 2016. AINOPOL reports that the State Accountant General, Mr. Nsikan Linus Nkan, advised the MDAs to focus more attention on improving internally generated revenue. Her report.
The State Accountant General, while defending the 2016 estimates of his office, said next year's budget will be peculiar as the government is looking into ways of improving internally generated revenue, since revenue from the federal government is dwindling. Mr. Linus enjoined the people of the state to assist the state to achieve its desired goals by paying the taxes and other levies. He commended the committee for its hard work for the past 3 weeks, promising the people that the 2016 budget will be a budget for all. Before the presentation of the estimates of the Accountant General's office, the Ministry of Special Duties, led by its permanent secretary, had defended its estimates. The ministry made provision for increased staff strength, promotion, recurrent expenditure, and measures aimed at generating revenue. After the defense, the permanent secretary, State Budget Office, Pastor Nicholas Ekarika, who represented the chairman of the committee, Mr. Kanokon, said the 3 weeks exercise has been fruitful and acknowledged the cooperation of the MDAs.
I want to thank God for giving us the grace to go through the process. It's been tasking, it's been hectic, but God in His infinite mercy has sustained us. We're in the collation stage now to be able to fine-tune, process it, to brief His Excellency on the outcome.
Pastor Karika thanked the state governor Udom Emmanuel for providing the committee with tools that have enhanced its activities and assured that after collation of the estimates into a draft, which will be sent to the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, the committee will provide the state a realized budget.
I want to assure Akwa Ibom people that the aspiration of His Excellency is being interpreted into 2016 budget. And at the end of it, we'll see that a lot of communities will be captured in terms of developmental projects. All those aspirations of His Excellency is being captured in 2016.
Some committee members expressed satisfaction at the completion of the hearing and thanked God for the ability to successfully carry out the exercise.
And the discussion on 2016 budget has been a very constructive one, and policies have been reached that will better the state in 2016.
So good. It has been very interesting, and the response has been very, very encouraging. Almost all the ministries have turned up, and you can see we have started the main treatment of files. So I want to promise the Akwa Ibom State people that 2016 budget will be a budget for all.
Thank God that the meeting was very, very successful. We've had positive response from our ministries, and besides, they've provided us with all the needed information that will help us to prepare a good budget for government for the year 2016.
After 3 weeks of positive deliberations, the 2016 budget estimate hearing has ended with a call to ministries, departments and parastatals to focus on internal revenue generation. From the State Budget Office, Iyagin Opo reporting.
Thank you, Yaino. The week-long sensitization campaign on the rights of the child, championed by the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare, has ended. The exercise was rounded off with the visit to Ikotepene and Ikono in the federal constituencies. Etienne Oibanga filed in this report.
To promote, protect and save Akwa Ibom children from all forms of abuse, led by the Commissioner Dr. Gloria Date, issues such as child abuse, child trafficking, child labor, abandonment and child sale were strongly condemned by stakeholders.
Can be told to the leaders of tomorrow. Any local government, any village, any community, in a what we plan there about the NISO, that community or local government area.
The people of Ikono in a federal constituency were briefed at Ikono Local Government Council Hall, while stakeholders from Ikotepene, Esenudu, Manoboro, Akara local government areas gathered at Ikotepene Local Government Council Hall. Addressing stakeholders at the federal constituencies, the Commissioner Dr. Edet explained that the sensitization was to impress on parents, guardians and adults the implementation of the Akwa Ibom State Child Rights Law 2008. Dr. Edet expressed satisfaction with efforts put in place by the state government to promote and protect the rights of the child, adding that anyone who violates the law will face severe sanctions according to the nature of offense committed. Lectures which harped on the rights and responsibilities of a child as well as the effects of child abuse were delivered by resource persons. In a remark, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mrs. Cecilia Inyang, applauded the state government for standing by her ministry to ensure a secure future for Akwa Ibom children and stakeholders from the 10 federal constituencies for their collaboration in the fight against acts inimical to the growth of children. The event was attended by traditional rulers, elders, women, as well as transition committee chairmen of Ikono, Ini, and Ikotepene federal constituencies.
The Director General of the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, Pastor Nyeti Okpe, has advocated the need for journalists to have proper understanding of the theory of social responsibility in journalism practice. Pastor Okpe made the advocacy when members of the Integrity Group of the Akwa Ibom Federated Chapel of the Nigeria Union of Journalists paid him a visit. The Director General also condemned the spate of blackmail against public office holders. The story is presented by
We reminded them on the need to mobilize other members of the press community to give Governor Udom Emmanuel the needed support to drive the administration's industrialization and wealth creation program. Pastor Okwe, while lauding the speed at which Governor Emmanuel was pursuing his sustainable development vision, expressed concern over declining standard of journalism practice and called for strict adherence to ethics of the profession. He appreciated the group for their kind words and wishes for him, but advised them to approach the chapel's upcoming election with a greater sense of responsibility and spirit of sportsmanship, rather than let their ambition destroy the chapel.
I am happy that this trend is continuing and that the upward curve that we are finding in terms of development and private state is being sustained, and I want to urge all of private people, particularly the press, to give the administration of the Excellency Mr. Emmanuel all the support that he needs. It is in our interest to do so. It is in the interest of our posterity to do so. It is in the interest of the dreams of our forefathers.
A frontline member of the Integrity Group 2015 campaigns organization, Pastor Emime Jerome, congratulated Pastor Enieti Ukpe on his appointment and expressed the confidence of the group in Ukpe's leadership ability. He presented the Federated Chapel's chairmanship aspirant, Mr. Ninfan Silas, to the AKBC Director General.
You cannot change the story without using a story changer. With Pastor Enieti Ukpe as the DG of AKBC, a new face of AKBC will emerge.
The chairmanship aspirant, Mr. Ninfan Silas, thanked Pastor Ukpe for welcoming his team and expressed the hope that his advice and contributions will be useful in the realization of his ambition. He highlighted his agenda for the Federated Chapel to include encouraging professionalism, repositioning the chapel for maximum productivity, integrity, transparency, and transformation.
We also know that as far as the media industry in Akwa Ibom State, I'm talking about the local media, a lot of transformation, a lot of rebranding will be brought to bear. If not, the public will no longer have confidence.
Vice President Yemi Oshibajo charges Nigerian editors on objectivity and patriotism, and 71 bodies found in an abandoned truck on Astra's motorway. Details of these and more in our national and foreign news package with Samuel Ayara.
Edition of All Nigerian Editors Conference have been tasked on proper information management by Vice President Yemi Osibanjo. Osibanjo, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information, Dr. Fola Sade Esan, emphasized the need for editors to allow their medium serve as critical drivers of socio-economic development of the country. Welcoming the editors, Bayelsa State Governor Siraki Dixon called on them to be mindful of their roles in nation building by ensuring objectivity in material that passes through their desks with the aim of improving livelihood in the country. This year's event of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, which has as its theme the change we need, role of editors, hold in Yenegua, the Bayelsa State capital. An abandoned covered on the Austria is reported to have contained bodies, including children, according to police. About 3 people have so far been arrested in connection with the death, as police for forensic experts to carry out checks on the truck. The truck, which is suspected to have arrived Austria from Hungary, carried refugees in refrigerated compartments with Syrian travel documents found on some of them. This adds to the thousands of deaths occurring in the Mediterranean as a result of illegal migrants said to be fleeing war-torn Libya and Syria. 10 years after New Orleans was hit by Hurricane Katrina, U.S. President Barack Obama has hailed residents of the city for their bravery and faith in the country, even in the face of tragedy. Obama made a remark at the new community center when hundreds of residents in the lower 9th ward, which was submerged 17 feet in water during the hurricane, gathered in commemoration of lives that were lost. It would be recalled that on August 2005, a Category 127 horsepower wind landfall between Grand Isle, Louisiana and mouth of the Mississippi River, which caused flooding that affected Gulfport, Mississippi, and New Orleans. About 1,833 lives, while about $108 billion were destroyed.
That's a package, but you can also watch AKBC News Online by logging onto akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45U or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. And now the recap. Governor Dom Emmanuel has tasked Akwa Ibom youth to emulate Akwa Ibom-born 25-year-old Ufotekong, who is breaking academic records in Japan. He was speaking when Ufotekong, who had earlier visited President Muhammadu Buhari, visited him in Government House. We also told your story that markets and business premises are to remain shut from 7 o'clock this morning to 10 for state environmental sanitation. Do remember to join us at 12 for the news at noon. Till then,